All right, so more of my paranormal stories here. Let's start with Las Vegas, Nevada. The only time I had any type of paranormal experience is what you see here. Here's a picture of the Bally's Las Vegas. Used to be the former MGM Grand. Now it's the Horseshoe. Just to give you an idea where this hotel is. But when I stayed there, it was the Bally's. Now, let me tell you my experience in this hotel because I had the experience before I knew anything about this hotel and its past. Uh, had no experience on the gaming floor. I know a lot of people have experiences on the gaming floor. I never had it. And I spent a good time on the gaming floor in my many visits to Las Vegas because it was one of the best places where you could actually, play slots and win something. Tables weren't bad in there as either. But my experience happened in my hotel room. Both nights, I'd say in the dead of night, talking 12, 1, 2, uh, I would have a, I would wake up to a smell, and it was like a fire smell. And it wasn't somebody smoking, it wasn't somebody cooking something, right? It wasn't that type of smell. It was more of a structural smell of a fire, if that makes sense. So it smelled like the building was on fire, right? I didn't think anything of it. I woke up, didn't hear any alarm, looked out my window, nothing was happening. I think even one night I opened my door and there was nothing there. So I get back home from Vegas. I'm saying that was a weird, weird experience. So I look it up and I found out that Bally's was the former MGM Grand. The tower that I stayed in was, I believe, the North Tower. Uh, I might be wrong on that, but I believe it was the North Tower. And apparently in the 80s, 84 people died uh, because of a fire that happened at a deli. And they had they didn't have a really good fire suppression system. So the fire traveled up, and unfortunately, people died. Changed the whole fire code for Las Vegas. But when I found that out, I said, wow. And so I took two things out of it. I said, maybe, objectively, maybe they rebuilt the whole thing, right? And they kept maybe the steel beams or the some uh, resemblance or something from the old tower, right? Because what I read up on was they completely gutted the whole tower. I think the steel beams are the only thing that's original, from what I read up on, but I could be wrong. Um, and that might be the reason why I smelt that fire smell. And then the other reason might be uh, ghosts, paranormal spirits still lingering there. When I read up on the fire that happened in the 80s, uh, I read up that some people died in their sleep. Uh, they were still in their beds, and they had no idea that there was even a fire. It was really tragic, and maybe it was one of those spirits. I can tell you this much: I didn't feel scared the whole time. Didn't feel frightened. I just found it weird. If anything, I felt welcomed and I felt comfortable. Uh, you know, that's my story on Las Vegas and the paranormal experience that I've had over there, and I haven't had any others. with the amount of times I went over there, I never had any other experience, which is amazing. To me, anyways. The second experience I'm going to tell you about is in Jerome. Now, these are two pictures of Jerome. It is a mining town, old mining town. And it's really famous now. It's really famous now for just being a tourist trap, and it is a tourist trap. I will tell you two experiences. The first experience is the ghost tour. So if you go up there and you're interested in the paranormal, that ghost tour, do not miss it. Uh, it's up to you what type of tour you want to take, because they have one that starts. They have two different type of tours. One's an extended tour. I highly recommend you do the extended tour. Now, the tour guide was excellent. He told us a little bit of the history, and then we were at our own devices. So every group, a lot of these, I guess, tours have groups that sign up for it, and I was by myself, which was great. I didn't have to deal with anybody else. Everybody else was in their little friend group, right? And everybody was either given a spirit box or an EMF or both. I got the spirit box, so I got to use it, and it was fun. It was fun. I didn't get any hits the whole tour until, and on that bottom right is the Jerome High School. That is where I got my hit, and it was a really good one. And I wish I had recorded it so I could share with you guys what the spirit said. So we go in there, nothing happens at the beginning, and then towards the end of the tour of Jerome High School, we go into the gymnasium, which had a stage. So we go in there, everybody's on the stage, everybody's kind of in the gymnasium area. I decide to go up the catwalk, which nobody else did. I think one other person did, and they went right back down. I stayed there for a while, and I had a voice come over saying, "Hey, don't talk to him, Viola, or don't speak with him, Viola." And it was clear as day. It was a disembodied voice, and it was not the radio. It was not a podcast. It was literally somebody stating something. They were telling Viola not to talk to me. That was the most interesting thing I ever had happen to me on any paranormal event that I've been to, really. Uh, and I've had events coming close to this, and I'll talk about them later on. But this one was the one that really got my gears rolling on this whole paranormal I can't even say it, paranormal thing, you know. But yeah, those are my two stories. I'll have more stories, and I might put other content. Who knows? Y'all have a good one.